Okay, I thought I would close then with something a little bit seasonal as we look forward to summer here, and quote from Summertime from Porgy and Bess. It was a collaboration between George Gershwin writing the music and Dubose Heyward, who wrote much of the spoken and sung lyrics for the Porgy and Bess production. But Ira Gershwin came in after those two had pretty much done what they wanted to do and fit a lot of the words to the music and suggested style revisions and making things easier for singers to sing clearly and effectively. A lot of what Porgy and Bess was based on was taken from a pre-existing story and also lyrics of songs from the South that were in existence as lullabies or ballads or story songs. And so they had to be adapted in some way. So, as an example, in one description of how Ira Gershwin helped out with writing the lyrics, Heyward had used an old spiritual song as the basis for Summertime, and it was called All My Trials. And it included, for example, the line, "Hush, little baby, don't you cry, father and mother born to die." And then for the lyric, Heyward rewrote them into, "Your daddy's rich and your mom's good looking, so hush, little baby, don't you cry." And so it was a kind of multi-stage process involving both existing songs, Heyward's contributions, and the two Gershwins. So a very collaborative process coming up with the song. Summertime, and the livin' is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your ma's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're going to rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings, and you'll take the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you with daddy and mommy standing by. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mom's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. That's everything I have planned for today. If anybody has any questions about lyrics, sources, it's amazing how many books are published that focus purely on the lyrics of songs, and complete collections of every lyric that someone like Ira Gershwin wrote, or many of the other Broadway writers. Although he was somewhat unique in the length of his career and the number of lyrics he wrote with different composers. But there are collections of complete lyrics for many of the best composers who wrote their own lyrics, as well as people who wrote just words and collaborated with musicians. And some of the books I was quoting a little bit from here are ones like Ira Gershwin, The Art of the Lyricist by Philip Furia, and then I mentioned Gershwin's own book called Lyrics on Several Occasions, and there's also the one called Their Words Are Music, The Great Theater Lyricists and Their Lyrics by Lehman Engel, and another one called The Poets of Tin Pan Alley, A History of America's Greatest Lyricists, also by Philip Furia. So it's a an area of interest unto itself for a lot of people. So, thank you for coming.
Have you ever tried your hand at writing your own lyrics?
I haven't.
No?
No, this is actually something I just kind of got interested in recently. So it has sparked some interest in me for doing that kind of thing. Written some music, mostly instrumental only, so I don't really even have much experience with trying to think of how lyricists and composers work together, or in the few cases where people have written both the words and the music to most of what they're doing. That's more rare, but it's a very interesting thing. And there's lots of discussion in these kinds of books about, the most common question is what comes first, the words, the lyrics, or the words or the music, and it varies, of course, between different teams of people who combine their talents to come up with songs like that. And Ira Gershwin is an example of someone who said, I have to have a composer with me writing melodies before I sit down. So he actually preferred to work from a melody and with a topic in mind before he started writing a lyric, whereas some people would prefer to actually come up with the words first and have the composer fit the music to the words. So it's a very interesting process, and until I started reading some of these books, it didn't occur to me how many things they have to be thinking about, and how, a lot of times what seems like a great lyric on paper maybe just doesn't work once you get it on the stage, and they would get comments from people all the time about, you're going to have to take this song out of the show, for somebody looking at the score and saying this song's never going to work, and then it ends up becoming the most popular song in the show because of the way it's staged, or the delivery of the actress or actor, that sort of thing. So. Any other questions? Well, thanks again for coming.